Money versus currency. Most people, myself included, use the terms money and currency more or less interchangeably, but technically they are different and so shouldn't really be confused. The most important difference between money and currency has to do with store of value. Money has an intrinsic value. It has a worth in and of itself. Precious metals such as gold and silver are considered as money because they have the aforementioned store of value. Gold and silver are referred to as monetary metals. They have also been used as a medium of exchange and a store of value for millennia, through the ages and also across different cultures. This persistence over such long periods of time and also the cross-cultural aspect are points which are, to my mind, very telling. Currencies, on the other hand, have all the characteristics of money, but crucially, they do not have the all-important store of value. This is their fatal flaw. The gold standard is the name given to the backing of a currency with gold. With a gold standard, a currency can become money, or rather, I should say, a currency can assume the status of money. It will never be money because it lacks the store of value. The expression as good as gold has often been used in respect of currencies because currencies which are backed by gold can be used in trade to buy products as if they were gold. Backing a currency with gold gives the currency a value that it would otherwise not have. After all, currencies don't have any real intrinsic value. In and of themselves, they aren't worth much. They're just digits on a computer screen or paper, pretty printed pieces of paper, or with regard to coins, shiny bits of coloured metal. While we're talking about such things, I should mention paper money, the physical form of cash. Paper money, or paper currency as it should properly be called, isn't a new phenomenon. Banknotes or promissory notes have been around for an awfully long time, since the Han dynasty in China circa 118 BC. But the 17th century is the time period when paper currency began to really become predominant in Europe, more's the pity. So, to recap, gold and silver are considered as being money, real money. Currencies are not money. They might masquerade as money, but the truth is they're not money and never will be. Currencies are fake money, false money, phony money, funny money, or whatever terms you want to use. They pretend to be money, but they aren't actually money. Even with a gold standard, a currency is still only a currency. It's not real money and it never will be real money, and it shouldn't be considered as being real money. I realise that I've laboured the point a little, but the difference between money and currency is incredibly important. It might seem like a trivial thing, but I can assure you it isn't. It most certainly is not inconsequential. Why is this so important, you might be asking yourself? Well, because unfortunately currencies are still somehow billed as being bona fide money substitutes. They operate in our economies as if they were money, and yet, as I've said numerous times now in this video, they are not real money. By the way, in 1971, Nixon took the US off the gold standard, so all major currencies of the world, with the possible exception of the ruble now, are not backed by gold. They are what is known as fiat currencies. For anyone who's interested in finding out more, I've done a video relating to this entitled Fiat Currencies. The thing that I wish to communicate to you, anyone who listens to this video, is that this discussion about the difference between money and currency is not just an academic exercise. It doesn't just belong to the pages in a textbook on economics. Indeed, there will come a time fairly soon when the difference between money and currency will matter more than most people might possibly imagine. There are going to be real-world ramifications. What do I mean by this? Well, we're going to have a currency crisis sometime soon. When this currency crisis occurs in your country, the difference between money and currency will become all too apparent. People will be forced to see the difference between real money, gold and silver, compared to currencies. In economics, when it comes to value, relativity is an important concept. everything is relative. The value of currencies will be directly compared to the value of precious metals like gold and silver, and currencies will be found wanting. At that point in time, the issue regarding the store of value will be finally revealed as being something of a problem. The fatal flaw, the Achilles heel, will be exposed, will be made evident to everyone. Following the crisis, the world will be more or less divided into two distinct groups of people: those who have real money like gold and silver in their possession, and those that do not. The latter will probably struggle to survive. They will pay the price for their ignorance, while the latter will not only survive but should thrive. There might be a third group, those people who own decentralized cryptocurrencies, but only time will tell whether these cryptocurrencies have any true value. I cannot put this any more plainly than I have, so let this video serve as a warning to you. I only hope people hear this and take heed. Unfortunately, I fear that people will only realize the difference between money and currency when it's too late. After the currency crisis, they're going to learn this lesson the hard way. If you want to get an idea of what this might look like, then look at Turkey now. You can also look at Lebanon and Venezuela. These two countries are in more advanced stages. Turkey is close behind. The destination Lebanon and Venezuela have arrived at, and where Turkey is headed, is the same road upon which most Western nations are travelling on. It's the road to ruin. We in the West will arrive at the same destination, but just a little later. We are going to be experiencing something similar, so be prepared, be advised. There will be very considerable consequences if you don't appreciate the difference between money and currency. I have to say that out of all the videos I've produced, this is probably one of the most important. So if anyone listening can come away with an understanding of this topic, then that will be a jolly good thing in my opinion. Educate yourself and then educate others. We're in this together, and the less people that suffer, the better for us all. Mike Maloney on YouTube does a very good job of explaining the difference between money and currency. In fact, I would highly recommend you watching his whole series, The Hidden Secrets of Money. To finish off, I will leave you with a little light-hearted hypothetical vignette. You can bury a bunch of gold coins in the back garden and they will still be of value 10 or 100 or even 1,000 years later. You could bury currency, a bunch of notes, but you shouldn't expect the same result. Aside from the possibility of them rotting, it's a guarantee that they will not hold their value over that time. Wise up and rise up.